Hi there! You're invited to listen to an exclusive excerpt from the next episode that I'll be publishing on Sunday. My next guest is absolutely fascinating, and this is just a teaser of what you can expect from our discussion. Enjoy listening, and I'll see you on Sunday for the full episode.
Welcome to Finscale, a podcast created by Solène Niederkorn, shedding light on innovation in finance, banking, and insurance.
Digital Frontiers in Finance. Chris Skinner, founder of the Finanser.
When I started it, my theme was the friction between decentralizing finance versus centralized finance, and the whole issue between cryptocurrencies and central bank digital currencies, and the role of a bank in that process. And then it became intelligent finance and intelligent money, which is, what if we made every transaction intelligent using ChatGPT or Bard or something similar? And obviously that's the hot topic right now in 2023. I don't know what it'll be in 2024. It does get interesting that if you could decentralize money and make it intelligent, what role does a bank have?
In a time when many are returning to work after some holidays, it was an honor to interview Chris, who has been a preeminent voice in the finance and tech world for the past 2 decades. In this insightful episode, Chris sheds light on the intricacies of digital transformation in banking, reflecting on its imminent future amidst game changers like blockchain. He emphasized the pivotal role of digitisation in fostering financial inclusion, especially in underbanked regions, and discusses how technology can proactively address environmental and societal challenges, a theme central to his book, Digital for Good. He also shares pearls of wisdom from his journey with the Finanser, his influential blog, brimming with advice, sharp humor, and a wealth of innovative ideas. A discussion truly worth its weight in gold. Enjoy the show! Hi, everyone. Hi, Chris.
Hi.
I'm really honored to have you on my podcast, Chris. You're an authority on fintech, banking and tech, and I would like to discuss many things with you today. Can you maybe introduce yourself before we talk about the future of finance and the Finanser?
Sure. I'm known mainly as somebody who says the way it is. I've been doing that for almost 20 years when I started blogging at thefinanser.com. And before I started blogging and writing books, I've produced over 20 books. I was a professional in technology and financial services, which these days everyone calls fintech. Back then we called it technology and banking, technology and financial services. So that's me.
Okay, perfect. So as I said, there are many different domains that I would like to dive into with you today. The first of this topic is the way tech can really address the evolution of the financial sector and support the transformation, the digital transformation of incumbent in particular. So maybe we can start with this. A very simple question, and considering that you know very well the industry and you've been working in banks and financial institutions, so how would you say are the key success factor for banks and incumbent players to successfully undergo digital transformation based on your experiences and the interviews you had with all those banks?
Well, I think there's a number of different pressure points, which is, on the one hand, if you're in a bank, keeping things stable and secure. And on the other hand, if you're in a startup technology company, changing the system and making everything different. And there's a lot of opportunity using technology to reinvent the financial system. But the challenge that you bump into, as evidenced regularly by many fintech companies, is a lack of knowledge of regulation compliance and the reason why the financial system is structured the way it is. I don't know of a single bank that ever went to a regulator and said, please give us more regulation. But having said that, the reason why they have so many regulations is to keep things stable and secure. Mm-hmm. And this is the friction we see between innovation and regulation between market progression and market stagnation. To a large extent, as a customer of a bank, I'm quite happy to have my bank being stagnating and snoozing. I'm not happy about the bank making so much money out of me, but that's another story. The point I'm making is that a bank makes huge amounts of profit out of its customers, whether they're corporate, commercial, investment, assets, or retail. Every part of a bank makes a lot of money. And the whole reason is that banks are there to be boring and stable and regulated by governments to ensure they don't lose our assets or our money. As a fintech startup, I wanted to disrupt that and change it and stop it and create a whole different world. But a lot of the startups have no understanding as to the reason why it is the way it is.
And do you think that financial institutions are not able to perform a proper digital transformation? That's what you mean?
Financial institutions can transform. I've interviewed quite a lot of them, as you know, around their digital transformation projects. And the biggest challenge they have is the executive leadership team. It's not the board, it's not the middle management or the people on the ground, it's the executives themselves. And when you go to a bank's executive leadership team, how many of them have any background in technology and internet and digital servicing or mobile services? Very few. And that's an indictment of the industry. There's very few banks I've ever met that have people who are really, in their blood, immersed in the technology industry.
Now that you've heard an excerpt from the upcoming episode on Sunday, make sure you stay tuned and connected so you don't miss a beat.